الصف التاسع الأساسي كتاب اللغة الانكليزية الوحدة الرابعة تقدمت مبادرة ضوء بصوت سهير عمار. يغطي هذا التسجيل من الصفحة 53 إلى الصفحة 66. كتاب الطالب Module 4 Critical Thinking. Page 54. الدرس السابع بعنوان Finding Answers. Vocabulary: Survival Equipment, Signal Mirror, Pocket, Oars, Emergency Blanket, First Aid Kit. Exercise number 2. Work in pairs. Read the situation. Which of these do you think is the most important priority? Providing food and drink, keeping people safe, surviving the weather, keeping the boat safe, signaling where you are. نص بعنوان Lost at Sea. You are on a ship in the South Pacific. It's sinking, and you have to decide what to take in your life raft. You have oars large enough for you and your crew. You are 1,000 miles from the nearest land. These are the items that you could take off the ship. Unfortunately, you can only take 10 of them on your raft. A torch and batteries, emergency blankets, matches, rope, a fishing line and hooks, a map of the ocean, life belts, a knife, signal flares, a mobile phone, water, a pocket, food, signal mirror, a whistle, sun cream, sea sickness tablets, a survival manual, a compass, a first aid kit, shark repellent, a radio, chocolate. Page 56. نص بعنوان Video Games Addiction. Helping Video Games Addicts. المقطع الأول. Many teenagers play video games from time to time. This activity can be entertaining as well as social. Friends can have an enjoyable time gathering around the game. Playing video games may have additional benefits, such as promoting one's decision, making skills, and improving one's general well-being. However, some game players may separate from reality and get addicted to playing the games. المقطع الثاني. You can tell who an addicted gamer is observing his or her behavior. Look out for signs that the person didn't show before getting hooked to playing games, such as wasting school time in order to play, becoming distant from friends and family, lacking enough hours of sleep and losing interest in other hobbies. Addicts can even become violent if they are unable to play. Other signs include physical illness, such as numbness in the hands and wrists, dryness in the eyes, headaches, and change in weight. المقطع الثالث. As soon as you notice signs of addiction on a relative or a friend, seek professional help to guide the person for proper treatment. When an expert talks to the game addict, he helps him to notice the addictive behavior, which may only be a reflection of hidden stress or anxiety. After identifying the reason for video game addiction, he can help the person to gain back self-control. You can also help by setting a time schedule for playing games or replacing gaming with another activity. المقطع الرابع. Until a video game playing addict receives attention and emotional support, they won't be free from their abusive behavior. With patience and care, they can succeed in solving their personal problems and enjoy playing a game moderately. نهاية النص. Page 57. Vocabulary: entertaining, unreasonably, promoting, addicted, hooked, violent, numbness, stress, anxiety, moderately. تطبيق أسئلة على النص. Exercise number 1. Read the article on page 56. Find the words which mean the following. To make something better. In paragraph number 1, the answer is promote. Pleasant, capable of giving pleasure. Also in paragraph number 1, the answer is entertaining. Indicators. In paragraph number 2, the answer is signs. Unable to stop doing something. In paragraph 2, the answer is numbness. A continuous feeling of worry that prevents you from relaxing. In paragraph 3, the answer is anxiety. Very rude and using unpleasant language to upset the people. In paragraph 4, the answer is abusive. And finally, fairly but not very. In paragraph 4, the answer is moderately. Exercise number 2. Fill in each blank with a word from the list. Waste, separate, violent, numbness, moderately. السؤال عبارة عن إكمال الفراغات بالكلمات المناسبة. Number 1. Game players may فراغ themselves from the real world. الجواب separate. Number 2. A game addict usually shows فراغ behavior. الجواب violent. Number 3. To avoid video games addiction, it's better to play فراغ. الجواب moderately. Number 4. Playing computer games for a long time may cause فراغ. الجواب numbness. Number 5. Teenagers shouldn't فراغ a lot of time playing video games. الجواب waste. Exercise number 3. Read the article again, then answer these questions. Question number 1. Why do teenagers like to play computer games? Teenagers الجواب teenagers like to play computer game because this activity can be entertaining as well as social. Friends can have an enjoyable time gathering around the game. Number 2. How could you know that a teenager has become a computer game addict? الجواب observing his or her behavior, look out for signs that the person didn't show before getting hooked to playing games, such as wasting school time in order to play and becoming distant from friends and family. Number 3. What can we do to help a game addict to be cured? الجواب We should seek professional help to guide the person for the proper treatment. Exercise number 4. التمرين عبارة عن وصل الجمل في المقطع الأول مع الجواب في المقطع الثاني. Match the beginnings and ends of the sentences. Sentence number 1. Ahmad can't play computer games. الجواب D. Until he finishes his homework. Sentence number 2. As soon as you notice signs of addiction on a relative or a friend. الجواب Sentence E. Seek professional help. Sentence number 3. When an expert talks to the game addict. الجواب رقم B. He helps him to notice the addictive behavior. Sentence number 4. After spending too much time playing computer games. الجواب رقم A. Selma had a terrible headache. Sentence number 5. Luckily, I stopped playing computer games. الجواب C. Before I became hooked to them. Page 58. Skills focus on interesting facts. نص بعنوان Questions you always wanted to ask. المقطع الأول بعنوان Why is sea air good for you? Many doctors say a trip to the sea is good for you. Breezes that come from the sea are full of minerals such as iodine and sodium from the salty water. Sea air is also fairly unpolluted, and sea salt crystals in the air help clean atmosphere. المقطع الثاني بعنوان Would a firework work on the moon? Yes, it probably would. As you know, fire needs oxygen. So you would think it couldn't work on the moon. But many fireworks have a chemical mix that contains source of oxygen, so they could still work. And with the moon's low gravity, a firework could fly up several kilometers. المقطع الثالث بعنوان Where will my electronic gadgets end up when they don't work anymore? Mobile phones and other electronic gadgets contain gold, silver, and copper. Millions of them are broken up so the metal can be extracted. Many countries have collection bins for people to recycle their old phones. So, don't throw your old phone in the bin, recycle it. المقطع الرابع بعنوان Are fingerprints unique? The chances of finding someone with exactly the same fingerprints as you is 1 in 64 billion. So the answer is almost yes. Even identical twins don't have the same fingerprints. Fingerprints are formed while the unborn baby is developing. They help us to grip and handle objects. So they aren't only useful for the police. نهاية النص. تطبيق أسئلة على النص صفحة 59. Exercise number 3. Read the article again and answer these questions. Number 1. What are the two main benefits of sea air? Sea air is full of minerals such as iodine and sodium from the salty water. The sea air is also fairly unpolluted. Number 2. The writer says that a firework could fly up a long way on the moon. Why? الجواب: Fireworks have a chemical mix that contains a source of oxygen, so they could still work on the moon. Number 3. Why shouldn't you throw away mobile phones? الجواب: Electronic gadgets contain gold, silver, and copper. So, don't throw your old phone in the bin. You can recycle it. Number 4. Could another person theoretically have the same fingerprints as you? الجواب: Yes. نهاية الدرس السابع. بداية الدرس الثامن بعنوان Solving Problems صفحة 60. النص بعنوان The Bored City Episode 4 Underground. المقطع الأول. One moment, Tariq and Hussein were exploring a narrow alley behind the theater. The next, they were falling through space. They landed with a bump above them. A thin beam of sunlight shone through the hole in the ceiling. They could see that they were sitting in an underground room, a part of the buried city. Tariq saw something on one of the walls. Tariq, look, It's a beautiful painting. If it wasn't so dark, I could study it properly. Hussein, and if it wasn't so dark, we could find a way out. Tariq started to walk towards the painting, but Hussein stopped him. He pointed at the ground. A long, glittering shape was crawling into the shadows. It was a snake. Hussein found a large stick. He said he would use it if the snake came back. After about half an hour, it grew dark. Tariq, if I had some matches, I would make a fire so that we had some light. Hussein, don't worry, I know how to make one. Hussein turned on his mobile phone. With the light, he collected some dry pieces of wood. He rubbed the wood together and produced some sparks. Then it started burning. The light from the fire revealed the rest of the chamber. Tariq, well, we have a fire now, but how can we get out? Hussein, I've got an idea. المقطع الثاني. Nadia and her parents stayed in a small hotel near the buried city. Nobody could sleep. Mr. Hamad found his daughter sitting by the window, looking out at the desert, under the stars. Nadia looked at him, excited. Nadia, Dad, I have just had an idea. I think I know where they are. Mr. Hamad, where, Nadia? Nadia, well, if they went to look at the amphitheater, they wouldn't walk away into the desert. So they must still be in the city. Mr. Hamad, that's right, but we have looked everywhere. Nadia, well, most of the city is still buried. We know there are houses and streets under the sand. If Hussein and Tariq fell down a hole, they would be in the buried city. Nadia pointed at the moonlit sand. Mr. Hamad, you are right. I have to tell the security guards. نهاية النص. Page 61. Exercise number 4. Listen and read the second section of the story. Decide if these sentences are true or false. Sentence number 1. Nadia and her parents went back home. False. خطأ. Number 2. Nadia couldn't sleep, so she looked out of the window and thought. True. صحيحة. Number 3. Nadia thinks the boys have walked into the desert. False. خاطئة. Number 4. Nadia thinks the boys are in the buried city. True. صحيحة. Exercise number 5. Copy and complete these sentences about the story. إكمال الجملة بالزمن الصحيح تبعاً للزمن الشرطي الثاني. Number 1. الجملة الأولى محلولة. If it wasn't so dark, طارق فراغ. الحل. If it wasn't so dark, طارق could study the painting properly. Number 2. If طارق had some matches, he فراغ. الجواب: He would make a fire, so they had some light. Number 3. If Tariq and Hussein went to look at the amphitheater, they فراغ. They wouldn't walk away into the desert. Number 4. If they fell down a hole, they فراغ. الجواب: They would be in the buried city. Page 62. نص بعنوان Problem Page. المقطع الأول. Dear Counselor, it is the school holidays. I have got nothing to do, and my friends live a long way away. Can you advise me? From Hugo, Australia. المقطع الثاني. Dear Counselor, I am worried because I am going to start a new school. All my friends are going to a different school, and I won't know anyone. What would you do? From Asma, from United Arabian Emirates. المقطع الثالث. Dear Counselor, I had an argument with my best friend. I really want to be her friend, but I'm scared that I will look stupid if I say I am sorry. What should I do? From Isabel, from Mexico. المقطع الرابع. Dear Counselor, I think I am spending too much time on the computer. I prefer surfing the net and playing computer games to seeing my friends. What do you suggest? Carlos from Spain. الآن إيجاد الحلول لكل مشكلة من المشاكل الأربعة السابقة. الجواب للمقطع الأول هو التالي. Dear Hugo, don't worry, this is a very common problem nowadays. Why don't you make a timetable and allow yourself a limited amount of time per day? Show it to your parents so they can help you, and if I were you, I would play games with my friends so you meet them face to face. جواب المقطع الثاني. Dear Asma, it's natural to worry when you start something new, but don't forget that the other students will be new too. You will soon make friends if you smile and talk to people, and don't forget to keep in touch with your old friends. You will have lots to tell them. جواب المقطع الثالث. Dear Isabel, if I were you, I would apologize as soon as possible. It's always difficult to say we are sorry, but you won't look silly. I promise you should explain to your friend that you didn't mean to upset her, and that you would like to be friends again. جواب المقطع الرابع. Dear Carlos, why don't you see what's going on in your town? There are usually special summer schools with really interesting activities. You could learn a new sport such as canoeing or a new hobby such as drama. You are sure to make new friends. نهاية النص. Page 63. Exercise number 1. وصل الجمل والكلمات في العمود الأول مع الجواب المناسب في العمود الثاني. Number 1. Keep الجواب in touch. Number 2. Say الجواب sorry. Number 3. Start الجواب a hobby. Number 4. Take up الجواب friends. Number 5. Talk الجواب to people. Number 6. Make الجواب something new. Exercise number 2. Read the problems on page 62. Match them with the titles below. العنوان الأول No time for friends يتوافق مع المشكلة رقم 4. Friends disagree يتوافق مع المشكلة رقم 3. New life يتوافق مع المشكلة رقم 2. Nothing to do يتوافق مع المشكلة رقم 1. Page 64. Skills focus on. نص بعنوان Problems and Puzzles. Improve your thinking skills with these challenges. Problem solving strategies. Number 1. Understand before you can solve a problem. You must first understand it. Read and reread it carefully. Number 2. Plan. Once you understand a question, decide on what method you are going to use to solve it. Number 3. Try use your plan to help you find the answer. Number 4. Check if you think you have found the answer. Read the question again. Have you really answered the question or have you missed something? Try this. Paragraph A بعنوان The portrait. A visitor to a house sees a portrait and asks who it is. His host replies with a puzzle. Brothers and sisters, I have none, but that man's father is my father's son. Whose portrait is it? Paragraph B بعنوان Measure it right. You need exactly 400 ml of milk for a recipe. You have a carton of milk and 2 containers. One holds 300 ml and the other contains 500 ml. How do you measure out the 400 ml you need? Paragraph C بعنوان Family life. A husband and a wife have 7 sons. Each son has a sister. How many are there altogether in the family? Paragraph D بعنوان Missing symbol. Draw the missing symbol in the table. يوجد جدول ويتوجب علينا إكمال المربع الناقص في أسفل الجدول بالرمز الصحيح والمناسب. Paragraph E بعنوان Traffic jam. A lorry is stuck under a low bridge. The police can't think what to do. It just won't move. A policeman has an idea. He does something and waits a few minutes. Suddenly, the lorry can be driven away. What was the policeman's idea? Paragraph F بعنوان clockwork. If a clock takes 2 seconds to strike 2 o'clock, how long will it take to strike 3 o'clock? Paragraph G بعنوان marbles. Divide 470 marbles between 3 boys, Omar, Isa, and Ali. Omar must get 120 more than Isa, and Isa must get 70 more than Ali. How many will each boy receive? نهاية النص. Page 66. Project Questions and Answers. موضوع الوحدة الرابعة. Choose one of the topics below. Choose 3 or 4 questions. Do research to find the answers. المطلوب اختيار موضوع من المواضيع الثلاثة المطروحة تالياً، وعمل بحث وإيجاد أجوبة للأسئلة المتضمنة. المقطع الأول. The environment. What is pollution? What is global warming? What are holes in the ozone layer? What is made from recycled materials? Why do people cut down rainforests? What are we doing to protect animals? What can we do every day to save the planet? What are national and world leaders doing? المقطع الثاني بعنوان The Solar System. What are the major planets in the solar system called? Which one recently lost its status as a planet? How hot is the sun? What is an eclipse of the sun? Is the sun moving? Can the sun rays be harmful? Why is Mars red? What are Saturn's rings made of? What are shooting stars? المقطع الثالث بعنوان Seas and Oceans. How many oceans are there? Which is the smallest, coldest, warmest, saltest? How big are they? What makes waves? What is the bottom of the ocean like? What are tides? What is the sea made of? Why is the sea blue? نهاية الوحدة الرابعة.